How's it going, everyone? I hope you're having a kick-ass week. As you can probably hear over there, the still is warming up. That is the second to last stripping run for Buccaneer Bobs rum. So what I want to do today is give you a little update of where I'm at, what I'm thinking of doing, and I want to talk about setting up a little experiment involving the stinky Dunder pits. Welcome to Stiller, everyone. I'm Jesse, and this is the channel all about chasing the craft of home distillation and making it a legitimate hobby. So if that cools your condenser, make sure to have a look around, check my stuff out, and if you dig it, give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and you won't miss anything. So first up, guys, I made a little short video about it, but I have to say thank you to everyone, just in case you missed that. 10,000 subscribers. Oh, it's nuts. I can't believe it. I did not think that was going to happen. So thank you very much for that, guys. Anyway, guys, back to Buccaneer Bobs rum. So if there is somehow, some way that you've missed all the action on the channel lately about Buccaneer Bobs rum, I will put a link up top to a playlist that includes all of the videos so far on it. You can go over there and check it out. Oh, another quick public announcement as well, guys. Because we've got to 10,000 subscribers, YouTube, in all its wisdom, has opened up the community tab for Still It, which is pretty cool. So go over and check that out. If you go to the homepage and then click community, it's kind of like Facebook on YouTube, I guess. Anyway, there'll be a few things on there every now and again, guys, so you can check that out too. So, Buccaneer Bobs rum. First thing I want to address is that those of you that have been watching closely may remember that I was a little bit worried about a really overwhelming floral potpourri sort of thing going on. Thank you to Thomas, by the way, for that descriptor, the potpourri thing. You know what, dude? That is, the more I think about it, that's exactly what it is. That's what I'm kind of smelling. Old lady potpourri. It's that kind of thing right there in my rum. What I decided to do was go out and look for a commercial example of a rum, and not because I'm trying to compare it to say this is better or that's better. I just wanted to find something that I could taste and see if I can find that flavor in another rum, to see whether that's a normal thing or whether it's a straight up fault, and whether it's something that I like in the other rum, or whether it's something that I'm really going to want to try and keep out of my final product when it comes time to deciding on the cuts that I'm going to keep from the spirit rum. Now, in New Zealand, finding a funky, Dunder heavy, pot-stilled Jamaican rum, not easy, man. I got some good advice from people on what rums to look for. The problem is they're not easy to find. The only place I could get them was on a specialty sort of online store, and I was going to be paying a fair bit of money for them. In the end, I settled for the best I could find sort of locally at a decently reasonable price, which is this. And Appleton Estate, I know that it's, by all accounts, less heavy on the funk and more sort of wood, but it is a Jamaican rum, and it is supposedly, and apparently it does have some of those sort of funkier notes. So I had a taste of this last night, actually, and at first I couldn't find any of that flavor that I was looking for. But now, after spending a little time with it, that flavor is totally in there, which makes me happy. It makes me know that I'm not totally screwing up. And remember, guys, this is coming from someone that hasn't drunk a lot of rum, unless you count rum and cokes, when I was, 19. The other thing that I notice now is when I taste this, I can totally taste the molasses. Completely taste the molasses. It does have a little of the chocolate, the coffee, the dark caramel sort of flavors that I am getting even in the wash for Buccaneer Bobs at the moment. So let me put that down for a second and taste this again, which is the last little bit of the Hearts cut that I took and mixed with some of the back set way back when. If I can find the video, I'll link it up above. But straight away I get more of the potpourri, but now I know that it is something that is not totally foreign to this kind of rum. In my opinion, it's too strong and I would like to cut it back a whole lot, but I'm not so stressed about it being there in the first place. And honestly, I think a bit of age has helped out with it too. Now I'm getting more of the molasses flavor and less of just that potpourri flavor. So all in all, this is encouraging to me. Very, very encouraging to me. I feel like I'm on the right track. I feel reinvigorated to get stuck into the spirit run, but first I need to get through these stripping runs. Getting all of those stripping runs done and just getting things organized took a bit of time. I was up pretty late last night. It's actually the next morning now, and I'm about to go to work, but I'll see you guys again tonight. Check it out though, those low wines did add up quick. And you know what? That's not actually all of them. I've got more in here. Plastic. Yeah, it's alright guys, that is the far, far deep tails. That concoction over there is at 15%, so I may not use it all, but seeing as it's a rum, and we've all heard all about those deep rum tails carrying flavour, I figured I'd keep it. I don't have enough glass for it, so I separated out the deep, deep tails into the plastic. Alright team, so at the beginning of this video I said that I wanted to talk about and set up an experiment testing Dunder. Let me explain what I want to do sort of for my production level run first, and then I'll go back and tell you my plans for testing the impact of live Dunder on rum. So I didn't have the guts. To put the live Dunder into the fermenter, and I also didn't want to do that because I did want to run this test and I want to keep it separate. So my plan is to put the live Dunder into the boiler with the low wines and run it at that point in time. Obviously, like I'm talking about, I want to be able to test the impact of that, but I don't want to be messing around doing two big runs on the main still. So here's the plan. I'm going to put all of the low wines into the boiler, mix them up so it's all homogeneous, take 3 litres off and set that aside. Then I'm going to add the live Dunder into the boiler as well, and I'm going to aim for, let's say, 20%. Once again, I'll mix it all up and take 4 litres off. And the reason I'm taking 4 from the second and 3 from the first is that the Dunder will essentially proof down the low wines, so I want to attempt to proof down the straight low wines to the same ABV as the low wines that also have the live Dunder in them as well. And that'll be, so that volume will come out at about 3.5–4 litres. I'll make sure the volume's the same, and then the idea is to get my little mini pot still up and running and run the two next to each other and compare. The thing is that people also talk about esterification when it comes to live Dunder, and the idea here is that essentially the act of reflux and reflux over a decent amount of time changes the esters, creates new esters, breaks larger esters into smaller esters, so on and so forth, and that is apparently, according to the people that advocate for it, where a lot of the complex flavors come from in a live Dunder rum. So let's recap. I've got the first sample, which is essentially low wines but proofed down to the same ABV as the second sample, which is low wines plus live Dunder, and I want to create a third sample that is low wines plus live Dunder that has been refluxed for an hour or so. So the plan is to put all of that into my boiler, fire it up, get it nice and hot, but then essentially put the shotgun condenser on top of the column and just let it run in full reflux for at least an hour, and then take another 3 litres out of that boiler and pop it over into the pot still as well for a third run. I do see a few holes in this and things that I could probably improve. I'm going to get those 3 samples ready in this video so you guys can see it, but I'm not going to run it yet because my pot still, my little mini pot still, isn't good to go, which gives you guys a decent amount of time for some input into maybe how I could change things from this point on, or how I could run things from this point on to make this test a little bit more viable. Obviously the sample size is tiny and it's just going to be me tasting it to start with, but I do think it could be interesting to see the difference between straight low wines with live dunder through a pot still, low wines with live dunder refluxed at 100%, and then back into a pot still as well. Anyway, let's get it set up. Whew, work's over, I'm home, let's get stuck in. Time to get the low wines into the still. All of the low wines are in the still. I've given it a good shake up. It's all homogenized. It's all mixed up quite nicely. So I decided to be a little more stingy in terms of saving most of my spirit for the actual spirit run. So what I'm going to do is take 2 liters of spirit off right now, which means I'm going to be taking a little bit less than 3 liters each for the other 2 ones to come. But first, let's get 2 liters off the still right now. Alright, so this is going on the shelf. It's going to be labeled and it will be going through the mini pot still later on. This is about 38%, and what I need to do now is add in the live dunder. I'm going to aim for 20% live dunder, so when I run the non-dunder version, I need to make sure to cut it back down with the same amount of water, so it's the same ABV going through the pot still. Anyway, let's go get the dunder and see what that looks like. So I actually have 2 buckets of live dunder at the moment. This one is the one that I made in the video not long ago. It is smelling probably a little bit cleaner, less funky, but it does have a slight acidic twinge even on the nose. And the scent is sort of heading towards hay and maybe even a little silagey. This one, on the other hand, smells a little bit more intense. It definitely looks a little bit more intimidating, but this one has more of a tropical fruit sort of thing going on, maybe banana and pineapple, something like that. Now guys, I am nowhere near brave enough to taste this stuff like this until it's been boiled for quite a while, so I'm not going to be tasting that. What I've described is only the aroma, the smell. It's also safe to say that I have no experience with dunder. I don't know which is most likely to be best. I don't know what it smells like now compared to what it's going to taste like later in the rum. So I'm just going to split the difference and do 5 liters of each and get that into the still now. Alright guys, so now I have the low wines plus the live dunder here. Few floaties in there that I gotta say it does look kind of disgusting, but it actually smells freaking amazing, and it smells really, really different to the first one, which is interesting already. Anyway, as you can probably hear, the still over there is warming up. I need to get over there and rearrange this thing so I can get the condenser on top, put it into reflux for an hour and a half, I'm gonna aim for, and we'll take another sample at the end. So the still is now in full reflux. I've checked the top of the column using my cell phone screen like a mirror to see if there's any vapor coming out, and there's not, which is good. Now, just a note guys, remember please, anything like this, remember please, anytime you're running a still, it needs to be an open system. So while that condenser is knocking down all of the vapor back into the still, there's nothing getting out. I'm also not blocking it in any way, shape or form. So if the pressure of the heating liquid down below is too much for the condenser to knock down, the vapor will escape out the top, which isn't good either, but at least there's no pressure building up anywhere. Anyway guys, I'm going to leave this to do its thing for an hour and a half in full reflux, and then after that, actually, I was going to say I will collect the last sample, but I just realized that last sample will be really, really hot Change in plan. I'm going to let this run for an hour and a half. I will then turn the elements off, let the condenser run for another 20 minutes afterwards to make sure that there's nothing going on out the top. Let it cool overnight, and then tomorrow morning I'll take the sample. So to be honest, team, I don't think there's too much more that I can show you in this video. Keep an eye out for the next video, guys. I do believe what I will be doing next time is making the spirit run for the Buccaneer Bobs rum. Woo, I can't wait for that. It's already in the still, it's ready to go, so that'll be happening next. It's that time of the video, guys, where I need to say a huge thank you to the Patreon crew. I thoroughly appreciate the contribution to the channel, guys, but you know what? I'm beginning to appreciate even more having a group of people that I can run questions by and I guess be the still insiders to help me out with stuff. I really appreciate that, team. So once again, thank you for that. I cannot wait to be able to actually run this stuff through the mini pot still and see if there is a difference between the three, or how much of a difference there are between the three. But what I do need to do is get my little mini pot still up and running properly. So expect to see that sometime in the near future as well. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed watching the video. I know I thoroughly enjoyed making it. So if you really did like it, team, leave a thumbs up. That helps me out a whole lot. Make sure you drop a comment down below and let me know how you think I can run the pot still in a way that tests this a little bit better. The little mini pot still, I mean. And I will catch you guys next time. See ya.